Bright Tuty. Every student matters.
Here again, we have a heterogeneous mixture of cream and in milk. Now we know that milk is a colloid. Why colloid? Because the size of the particles are very minute. It is heterogeneous because they are non-uniform distribution. Now the question is, how would we separate cream from milk? We do so by the process of centrifugation. I had already explained you what is centrifugation. Next, let us do an activity to explain. So the objective of the activity is separating the components of a mixture by centrifugation. So to carry out the activity, first let us learn the definition. The method of separating finely suspended particles in a liquid by whirling the liquid at a very high speed is called centrifugation. The principle of centrifugation is that it is based on the principle that when a very fine suspension or a colloidal solution is whirled rapidly, the heavier particles are forced towards the bottom of liquid and the lighter stay at the top. So what are the materials that are required to do the activity? We require full cream milk, test tubes, and a laboratory centrifuge. The procedure to carry out the activity: pour full cream milk in the test tube with a pivot in your laboratory centrifuge. Shut the lid of the centrifuge and switch on the current. When the centrifuge starts working, the tube containing milk swings out in the horizontal position and whirls around its axis at a high speed. The centrifugal pull or the outward pull pushes the heavier particles outward, that is, towards the bottom of the mixture. Thus, the heavier particles of the proteins, carbohydrates, etc. are pushed towards the bottom of the tube, but the lighter particles of the fat stay near the top of the tube and hence separate. And you know, you did not always have a centrifugation machine. In fact, you can do it with the help of churning, which is easily done at home. So you must have seen somewhere, or you must be knowing about it, that when milk is churned, they use a container. Now, at home it can be done by taking a container. So we can take a container, milk is placed in the container, and then there is a wooden centrifuge which is inserted. And with the help of a rope, this can be churned. When repeated churning happens, we see that the milk keeps on rotating to and fro. So due to continuous rotation, we would find that the fat particles that are floating in the milk tends to coagulate and starts collecting in and around the wooden stick, and thus milk gets separated from cream. So this is centrifugation. So the principle of centrifugation can be applied to separate cream from milk. So we had seen this is one technique that can be used to separate a heterogeneous mixture. And what did we do in this case? We had first identified the property, the difference in the property. We know because it is colloid, so you cannot separate it through filtration. So what is another property of colloid? Is that you can separate the components through centrifugation. So either you use a centrifuge machine or we use a homemade centrifuge and thus carry on with the separation.